Output surface details text is a way of annotating information specific to particular surface coded areas. For example, we might want to report the area or the slope or the average level of an enclosed area which we have added a surface feature to. It's very similar to the edit derived text surface, but that particular command only does one area at a time. Output surface details text does it for multiple surface features and multiple surface coded areas. The reason why the command is grayed out is that I don't have any surfaces defined in the current survey yet. I'm going to remedy that by running through a worked example. I begin by adding a surface feature by link feature loops using that surface feature and locating that link feature loop. So we now have several squares and rectangles defined with a specific BLD surface feature. Output surface details text will now allow me to define the load file I want to put this information into. I'm going to bring it into the current survey, so I don't need to define a load file. If I had multiple surfaces contained within my survey, I can just select the ones I'm interested in reporting, or alternatively I can just leave it as all. And I now need to decide what information I want to report inside each of these surface areas. I'm going to select the description, that's the surface code description, so BLD has a description of building. I want the plan area and the average level and the average slope. Just as with the edit derived text commands, the order in which these options are selected will determine what line number they appear at within the annotation. To reorder an item, we can either clear and start again, or by unticking and then reselecting, it will move that item down the list. We decide what text style we want to use, whether we want a border or a margin around the text, and also whether we want a background color. How many decimal places we want to display areas and volumes to, and also the number of decimal places for slopes. When the annotation appears, it will be placed in the middle of the surface feature to which it relates. And if we select the option arrowhead and which type of arrowhead we want, when we move that text away from that surface, an arrow will point back to the center of that surface feature. We can of course decide not to use arrowheads at all. Also, if a contiguous surface feature is split by a link feature, let's say a rectangle is split in the middle by a link feature, we can either treat that as one entire contiguous surface area, or we can split it into two. And we can also decide whether dummy links are to be used as packet delimiters as well. We select Next, and we can choose what pre-text will appear and what post-text will appear. If we don't want the word type in front of the building, then we can just delete it, or we can type our own text. Average slope, average level, and we can save these pre and post text entries, and we can remember these settings for next time. Settings. OK, creates the load file which we now save and load. And if we focus in on a small area of this survey, we will see the annotation, the description, area, average slope and the average level. and in Edit General Text we can now click and drag the text away from the surface feature. And as you can see, we may need to redisplay the survey in order to tidy up the missing rectangle. We can now edit the text as required, but please bear in mind that if the LSS survey changes and the areas to which this text relates changes, then the text will not be updated. This is fixed at this moment in time.